Here at Griffon Entertainment, we know what gamers want. Big budgets, 8K resolutions, upwards of 60 frames per second gameplay, and reliability. Which is why we've dumped all of our resources into crafting a series of games which will deliver on all of these promises and meet sales projections. Thanks to our acquisition of the incredibly valuable Good Burger IP. This week, Electronic Arts announced their newest studio, Cliffhanger Games, and their first project is going to be a Black Panther video game. Confirming yet another Jeff Grubb rumor from a while back. As it was when this was first reported, this is one of the safest bets I've ever seen in my life. You take industry talent that worked on those Lord of the Rings games that a lot of people like, and other things, and make a Black Panther game. Like, congrats on the 10 million copies already, EA. Believe it or not, and you younger viewers might not know this, but there was a time when this exact type of game, starring a well-known and loved film or pop culture character, gets announced, and the immediate response is, oh, this is gonna fucking suck. So today we're talking about the Marvel game plan, or the IP wars. This announcement of Cliffhanger's Black Panther game makes the upcoming Marvel Games AAA slate one which includes Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Marvel's Wolverine, the Amy Hennig Captain America Black Panther World War II game, Dead Space team's take on Iron Man at Motive, and now Black Panther. It also is joining the ranks of the modern Marvel Games lineup of Marvel's Spider-Man, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Marvel's Avengers, rest in peace, Guardians of the Galaxy, Midnight Suns, Ultimate Alliance, Marvel Snap. The mission of Marvel Games has been made pretty clear, where they want to license out their IP to as many different teams as possible to ensure the right team is paired with the right character. But what I'm more interested in is the reach they have. PlayStation and Square Enix make up the brunt of it right now, but soon we have EA entering this ring with these two games, Iron Man and Black Panther. And then all that really remains in the AAA space to be making Marvel games is Ubisoft and Xbox. Because we all know Nintendo doesn't need Marvel to sell. They got the box office king of 2023 in their lineup already. My point here is I think we are very quickly and are quite honestly already seeing a transition where Marvel games are not only just AAA blockbusters that get thrown out once in a while. I think Marvel games are going to be a pillar of what AAA means the same way that Pokemon and Call of Duty are. It's not going to be, oh, it would be cool to get a Marvel game about this character, or what Marvel games are coming up soon. It's gonna be, oh, you're a AAA publisher? Well, what Marvel game are you making? Now, of course, this will reach capacity at some point, right? Hell, Warner Brothers couldn't even make Marvel games if they wanted to. Instead, they're going to be making Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League and Wonder Woman, Harry Potter game. But multimedia IP is really only just a small part of the industry anyway, right? Because we got gaming staples like Uncharted and Assassin's Creed, The Last of Us, Mortal Kombat, Fallout, Twisted Metal. For those that didn't pick up on that, that was sarcasm. Everything is an IP chase these days. If it's not Marvel and Batman, it's Star Wars and James Cameron's Avatar. Or RoboCop and Killer Clowns from Outer Space. And the thing is, why wouldn't it be an IP chase at this point? Of course it is. Look at the top 5 best-selling games of 2023 in the US right now. 2 of the top 5 are a Star Wars game and a Harry Potter game, with Harry Potter being in first. Harry Potter hasn't done anything great or good even since the movies ended. Just for some context, this data is from the end of June 2023. It's very likely that by now Zelda has overtaken Hogwarts as #1 bestseller of the year in the US. Just kind of reiterates my point that Nintendo doesn't need this. So what, is this a bad thing? Inherently no, I would say it's not a bad thing. You get people who make games employed, making something in an IP that probably means a lot to them, that'll probably at least turn out to be okay, and mean a lot to a lot of people. I love the Batman Arkham series, which is arguably what got us here, to the point exactly that I am speaking to you right now about this topic. The Insomniac Spider-Man games are good, so are the Respawn Jedi games. And I'm very curious to see Todd's Indiana Jones game. Where it gets a bit dire, I think, is when we look at the reasoning behind all of this, and that's AAA games and their sustainability. We see consolidation and shutterings what feels like weekly in this industry at this point, and in 2023, if given the choice between an established IP or taking a stab at something new, like Days Gone, if it's a flop, you're gambling with livelihoods. So, business-wise, doesn't it make sense to just go and make a Ghost Rider game instead? These guaranteed returns you get from using established IP, I think, are why we're seeing the previously mentioned gaming-first brands, like Uncharted, The Last of Us, Halo, branch out into multimedia. If Uncharted becomes a hit film franchise, or if a lot of people watch Halo, or if The Last of Us gets an absurd amount of Emmy nominations, you are expanding your audience to a size that is so large that whatever minimal chance of risk there was in making a sequel to those franchises already is reduced closer and closer to zero. Safe bets like Black Panther. There are other options when it comes to this unsustainable AAA space for games. We could always listen to Low Poly's favorite meme from Sonic the Hedgehog, but this future kind of feels unavoidable. It makes sense, especially with streaming services, that the IP wars and acquisition wars are what our reality is, and a core pillar of AAA games now. Because, I mean, clearly, not everybody can make a Luigi's Mansion 3 that sells 12.5 million copies just cause. That's all for Low Poly this week. I'll see you next time. If I'm in the minority on this as a Kingdom Hearts fan, but when it comes to Marvel or the MCU crossing over into Kingdom Hearts 4, no thank you. I've seen this thrown around a lot as a potential world to visit ever since Disney has owned Marvel, beginning in the early 2010s, and it's just never sat well. But now that Sora looks like he can shake Robert Downey Jr.'s hand, it's all anybody wants in the next game. And I honestly just don't see it or like it. Star Wars, though, I can see. Yes, it makes perfect sense that Darth Vader's heart is being controlled by a Heartless, and Sora has to fight beside Luke Skywalker on the Death Star above the forest moon of Endor to cleanse Anakin Skywalker's heart. That's classic Kingdom Hearts. I think the disconnect for me is that Kingdom Hearts has whimsy. I don't think Marvel has whimsy. Kingdom Hearts is swimming with whimsy, as is Star Wars, and The Muppets, and James Cameron's Avatar, and Treasure Planet, and Moana, and anything else I want to see them do in 4. It's not to say Marvel doesn't have something to it. It does. It's just like quirky science. The thing that really gets me, though, when people are clamoring for Sora to go swinging through the streets of Manhattan with Spider-Man, is we already have a Marvel thing in Kingdom Hearts, and it's Big Hero 6, and it was fine.